All right, let's talk about vehicular homicide in Louisiana. So what is vehicular homicide as defined in Louisiana? It's the killing of a human being caused proximately or caused directly by an offender engaged in the operation of or an actual physical control of any motor vehicle or a boat, whether or not the offender had the intent to cause death or great bodily harm. So no specific intent to cause death or great bodily harm is necessary. Whenever any of the following conditions exist, and such condition was a contributing factor to the killing. So we have a DWI, operator is under the influence of alcohol beverages as determined by chemical test. Under the DWI statutes, the operator's blood alcohol concentration is 0.08% or more. The operator is under the influence of any CDS, any drugs listed in Schedule 1 through 5. The operator is under the influence of alcoholic beverages, even though maybe he refused the breathalyzer. The officer can show that or the prosecutor can show through the observations of the officer and through other evidence that the defendant was under the influence of alcohol. That might be enough. Also, the operator is under the influence of a combination of alcohol and drugs, whether or not he has a prescription for them. Also down here at the bottom, the operator is under the influence of one or more drugs which are not CDS and which are legally obtained with or without a prescription, and the influence is caused by the operator knowingly consuming quantities of the drug which substantially exceed the dosage prescribed. Also, number 7, the operator's blood has any detectable amount of any controlled dangerous substance listed in Schedule 1 through 5 that has not been medically ordered or prescribed for the individual. So the penalties are pretty severe. It is a felony. Whoever is convicted of it is looking at a fine of not less than $2,000, no more than $15,000, and shall be in prison with or without hard labor for not less than 5 years, nor more than 30. So the judge has a pretty wide sentencing range there. At least 3 years of the sentence of imprisonment shall be imposed without probation, parole, or suspension of sentence. This is the toughest part of the statute here. It means the defendant's got to do 3 years in prison. If the operator's blood alcohol concentration is 0.15% or more, then at least 5 years of the sentence of imprisonment shall be imposed without benefit of probation, parole, or suspension of sentence. That's pretty tough. If the offender was convicted previously of DWI, then at least 5 years of the sentence shall be imposed without benefit of probation, parole. It can be a crime of violence if the offender blows over 0.20. So in that situation, the judge must sentence him as a crime of violence. And that affects the time that the defendant has to do in prison. So he has to do a lot more time before he can parole out. That's why that's important. Now, if 2 or more people were killed as a result of the vehicular homicide, then the judge shall make the sentences run consecutively, and have them run on top of each other. And if, let's see, for the purposes of determining a human being, an unborn child is a human being. So if you or anybody you know has been charged with vehicular homicide or any other crime in Baton Rouge or Louisiana, feel free to give me a call. I'm Barkemeyer, criminal defense attorney. You can call me or visit my website for more information.